There is a serious exposition that is already going amidst the Inec and the Irev. Irev disabled result, Inec tampering with evidence in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. What is Inec up to? Hear the news in details. In the early hours of Monday, Nigerians confirmed it. Inec have been tampering with evidence. That is why they extended the court time from Saturday, being the 22nd of June, to the 3rd, Monday, being the 3rd Monday of July. That is why they gave enough space so that they can be able to deal with what they want to deal with. 25% in FCT has been tampered with. So the Irev results, the INEC is beginning to disable most results in the FCT because they notice that P2B has more solid ground in that FCT. So they want to do everything possible to help Bola Ahmed Tinubu win this court case. But is it possible? Join me as I reveal it tonight. From the look of the chart, you will notice that Labour Party is probably getting 58%, and APC got 23%, and PDP got 16%, which 25% is required in the FCT. If 25% in FCT was not mandatory in presidential election, why is the embattled INEC chairman Yakubu Mahmood and his team trying to criminally give APC 25%? Tampering with evidence is regarded as any activity that destroys, modifies, conceals, or falsifies any type of evidence.
This is how the courts work.
Tampering with evidence is regarded as any activity that destroys, modifies, conceals, or falsifies any type of evidence. According to the National Criminal Laws (NCL), the concept of evidence is also very broad, encompassing any object, document, or record that is valuable to an investigation or inquiry. This is a serious charge with serious consequences. Section 120 of the Criminal Code Act in Nigeria, fabricating evidence. That means if INEC thinks they are very smart to delete the evidence that Labour Party already has, because this thing they are trying to delete or remove from the surface of the Irev so that they can help Bola Ahmed Tinubu win the election, is not going to help them, and is even going to land them to more trouble, because doing it with somebody like P2B is very, very dangerous. Nigeria has no rule of law. Nigeria has no law anymore. But remember, there is a limit to your crime, and you will see that Nigeria truly has a law. Now, what does Section 120 of the Criminal Code Act in Nigeria says? Any person with the intent to mislead any tribunal in any judicial proceeding, number one, fabricate evidence by any means other than perjury, counseling, or procuring the commission of perjury, or two, knowingly make use of such fabricated evidence, is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 7 years. The offender cannot be arrested without a warrant. Wondering why the above should interest you? Here is why. Just as Nigerians woke up to the news that Bola Ahmed Tinubu had been declared winner under dubious circumstances, undermining important constitutional provision, one of which is the 25% in the two-third state and the FCT, it felt like deja vu waking up on Monday, June 26, to find polling unit results that were previously visible to everyone who went to the Irev portal missing. General Oluchi, a vocal obedient, tweeted it in the early hours of Monday, and she said, "I wondered what is Inec up to." Other Nigerians both in the FCT and elsewhere in the country corroborated the same with her tweet. This is what she said: "My attention was drawn to the Irev this evening, and it appears that Inec has disabled viewing of many polling unit results in the FCT Abuja. I don't know how many states are affected. Please check your status if you can." We ride on. Certain data professionals who has testified for LP in the ongoing presidential election petition tribunal opted to look into the clamour within 24 hours, and the results are as follows. As of 11 p.m. CAT, there were 1,681 disabled results out of a total of 2,644 polling units in the FCT, or approximately 63.6%. Terrible. For the disabled result and tampering with evidence, this is what is currently visible on the portal for each of them. While every vote in every part of the country counts, the investigation team focused mainly on the FCT for the purpose of this report because of the provision of the constitution mentioned earlier, in which "and" has become a serious bone of contention that requires interpretation, despite previous related judgments leaning more towards the side of the petition. So they have seen that they are failing out. The Inec have seen that they are failing out. They are now frustrated. APC now understands that they are failing out, so they are now frustrated. What did they have to do? They went ahead to see that if they can bring down some evidence that the Labour Party are using. But will it work out? No, it will eventually backfire on them. The fact that the election results are still under dispute in court, and that the Irev result printout is one of the pieces of evidence that the petitioners have provided to support their case, makes this development frightening. Now the petitioners have closed their opening argument, and the respondent will start theirs on July 3rd. These changes being made on Irev could not have come out at a more suspicious time, particularly since there are no forthcoming election in the FCT. One wonders what Inec is reconfiguring, especially if you take into account that the last time the system were reconfigured, despite assuring the court that every data was backed up and would be made available when needed, the same Inec came back to tell the court that certain key election data, like the accreditation figures, were missing. And somehow, every time the system goes dark, LP numbers reduces in favor of APC. So whenever they come out with their lies and say they want to go and reconfigure the Irev, they end up deleting more important evidence. But finally, Nemesis is catching up with Inec, APC, Tinubu and Shettima. And I have a bad news for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who wants to rule Nigeria by force and by law. And I have equally bad news for Inec, who want to keep telling lies with the life of Nigerians, gambling because of the level of money they have bribed them and the money they have collected. These things they are doing, this game they are playing, will finally backfire on them. So remember that every time the system goes dark, Labour Party numbers reduces in favor of the APC. This is what the general public is now wondering: what is Inec up to? Because I myself, I am wondering, what is Inec up to? What are they hiding? What did they want to do? What record do they want to break again? So all Nigerians must stand up and arise to this injustice. Thanks for supporting the Future News. Peace.